Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third installment of Project Adopt Live's Home Chat series, brought to you by Hope for Animals and in collaboration with friends from the arts and media industries. My name is Jolene, and I am thrilled to be your host for today's live streamed video chat. In these uncertain times, staying home might save your life, but love will save your soul. As you find new ways to strengthen your bonds with your loved ones from the safety of your home, we'd like to introduce to you some animals with lots and lots of love to give, but no home and no family to love them yet. In this episode, we'll be talking to some of the fosterers from Purely Adoptions, these wonderful individuals who have opened up their hearts and homes to these needy, homeless animals. Will be introducing some of their adoption ready animals that are in their care to you, in the hopes that somewhere amongst you lovely people tuning in today, you'll be able to find someone who is ready and willing to give these animals a new lease on life. One or more of you just might be the new family member that these animals have been waiting all their lives to meet. But first, I'd like to share with you a little more about Purely Adoptions. Purely Adoptions started as a Facebook page back in 2009 and existed then simply as a Facebook page for people to post homeless animals in need of adopters and fosterers. As time went by, the good hearted people behind Purely Adoptions were motivated to do even more. And so they've become really involved in animal rescues and welfare initiatives, as well as forming a network of feeders, rescuers, and shelters across the island. If you want to support the essential work that Purely Adoptions does, please check out their Facebook page and look at some of the merchandise that they have available. These are things like t shirts, treats, foodstuffs, and even animal friendly sanitizers. All right. Speaking of merchandise, I'd also like to introduce to you the Hope for Animals artist team. Hope for Animals is, of course, the group of volunteers that initiated Project Adopt Live and brought us all together today to bring adoption drives to the digital realm. Now that the circuit breaker has been extended, a lot of animal welfare groups here in Singapore are struggling to cover costs like rental and daily meals for the animals in their care. That's why the Hope for Animals artist team has decided to relaunch their bark ornament series. These are beautiful personalized pet portraits that they will paint onto bark ornaments, and you can purchase them for just $45. And out of these $45, 24.50, and that's more than half, will be donated to the various animal welfare groups in Singapore. The rest will be used to cover costs and courier fees. And even if you don't have a pet to paint a picture of, these would make really great gifts for your friends with pets. And that is a little hint to the friends that I have watching. All right. Before I bring on our very first guest for the episode, I'd like to remind you that if you are interested in adopting any of the animals we feature today, to please register your interest using the QR code on the screen or via the link in the caption below. Purely Adoptions will then follow up with you to make sure that your interest is noted, and they will follow up with you on the procedures that will take place after the circuit breaker ends. And with that, let's bring in our first guest. We have fosterer Steph and a very special pair of cats, Pops and Kit. Hi, Steph. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Are Pops and Kits around right now?
So, at the moment, Pops and Kits are incredibly active. So, hopefully, I can get them to jump into frame once in a while. But once their energy is down a bit, I'll try to show you how their loving nature with one another is.
All right. So, can you tell me the reason why they're named Pops and Kit?
Great question. So essentially, there were seven cats that were abandoned on a rooftop garden. And within those seven cats, there was the mama and papa and several kittens. And it turns out that Pops and Kits are actually father and daughter. And so, in general, if you see the pictures that probably are posted on Purely Adoptions, etc., they just had this bond. So we decided to actually foster them together because we didn't want to separate the two of them that way.
That's
So,
really unique, isn't it, for a father
yeah,
cat to be bonded with his child? Usually we see
correct.
mother cats with their kittens.
Exactly.
So if someone were to want to adopt these cats, they would have to adopt them together.
Yes, so we would highly recommend for them to be adopted together. One, they've already bonded with one another. What I can also say is that I'm quite a new fosterer. So, especially those people who are new to taking care of cats, they're incredibly easy because when you have two cats together, they already get along and they take care of each other. So, they require slightly less attention. They'll be able to play with one another and not demand your time the entire day if, whenever the circuit breaker is over, we're going back to the office.
All right. And I understand that these two are actually lap cats as well. So they do
Correct.
love human interaction.
Exactly. So I have fostered approximately four cats now. Majority of the time, you'll find that when they come to the home, it takes a couple of days for them to get accustomed to the environment and come out and come to you. Whereas these two cats, right when they arrived, they jumped out of the carrier and started nuzzling everyone. So they are the most lovable cats I have ever come across. Typically, Kit, who is the little one, she will jump specifically onto your lap and hang out there. Pops usually nuzzles around you in the front. Uh,
Oh, there they
and
are.
here they are. But right now they're in play mode.
So Kit is about 4 to 5 months old, and Pops is about 9 to 12 months old, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, that's correct. So,
So,
hi. So,
so can you
Kit,
tell us what's the difference between taking care of a pet kitten versus an adult cat?
that's a very good question. So, first off, definitely kittens require slightly more playtime. Their whole immune system is not completely developed yet. So, when it comes to food, there might be more requirements there, and they're likely more prone to having things like diarrhea. So, you do need to dedicate more time with the cat if they are a kitten. Whereas adult cats, typically their personality is already formed. So, what you see is what you get. They're slightly more independent, they're playing around a lot. They're slightly more independent, so they'll be able to do their own things on their own time, and but they still will require playtime.
Yeah. So playtime, do you think they'll be good with children?
Yes, definitely. So these are also incredibly gentle cats. They are play fighting with one another right now, but they are the first cats I foster that have never bit me or scratched me.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're just loving. That's it. Like complete lovers, not a hater at all.
Oh, they sound so sweet. I wish we could see more of them.
Yeah, what I can do is try to get them up here. If I just
Okay.
gonna, all right, hold on for a second. Thank you.
All right. So in the meantime, let me tell you a little bit more about them. So obviously, as you know, cats are more solitary, but these two have really, really bonded with each other. It takes a while usually for cats to bond, but these two really seem to get along and play. So sometimes you'll see cats play fighting, and that is as long as there are no claws out, no teeth out, that's perfectly fine. They're just chilling with each other right now. Which one is Pop and which one is Kid?
So the big one here is Pops. So
Uh
he's
huh.
the one that is the papa, and this is the little kitten Kit.
Hi,
So
Kid.
they're a bit feisty right now, but here's little Kit. Hi, baby.
Oh, they look the same.
Yeah. So you'll see that their markings are exactly the same. Kit is just hanging out on the laptop right now, but
Can you
maybe.
share with us what is a purely adoptions process for adopting a cat?
Okay, so basically, first you just need to contact them and fill up an adoption questionnaire. So they do have a Facebook page, they also have Instagram, and you can do a direct message there. There will be an adoption questionnaire that you do need to fill out. And probably the biggest question is, well, do we need to cat proof? So there will be a viewing that will allow you to. So currently with COVID-19, it'll be through videos or photos, and we can probably do live chat if you want to see more of the cat's personality. Um, Before any adoption, your home will be screened. So for those who are not aware, we need to ensure that the home itself is cat proof, meaning all windows are meshed, all the doors are meshed to ensure that they won't fall off a balcony or escape and run into traffic. Once you have, so essentially, if your home is not cat proof, the cat will not be handed over to you for adoption. And here she is grumbling up all of my notes. So I have this specific procedure written out. So once you are selected to adopt, an adoption contract does need to be signed, and there will be some adoption fees collected. For purely adoptions, these range from $100 to $150, and these are essentially collected to offset some of the current and future rescue costs. So there are a lot of
Mhm.
costs involved in terms of trapping them, sterilizing them, bringing them to the vet, food, etc. So, what we do require is that the doctors do need to provide quality food, just not the supermarket brands, please, and also budget money for vet care. Those who might ask, the approximate cost per month is maybe $100 to $150 to take care of the cat. Sorry, they're jumping around all over and pushing the laptop. Um, the doctors also must sterilize the kittens once they're at the appropriate age of approximately 5 months, and also for the copy of the sterilization certificate back to us. Obviously, if they are older, they will have already been sterilized. So, in the case of Pops, he is sterilized, and Kit is still waiting for her to be at the right age.
Right.
And the rescuers, essentially, we can visit the kitten or adopted cats. This will be prearranged with the adopter, and it'll be great if you can set up an Instagram page for to just post pictures and provide more information in terms of how the cats are doing. So if the adopter themselves are less than 21 years of age, or if you're staying with your parents, you do need to have a chat with the parents as well, just to ensure that everything is arranged and you have the proper approvals from your family too.
And I'm sure you can do that during the home visit as well.
Correct. Yes.
So I have a question here from one of our viewers, Valencia Au. Will they be okay with 3-year-old dogs, do you think? Like in dogs in general and maybe even older dogs?
Okay, so with my experience at the moment, we have not exposed them to dogs. I can say that they're incredibly friendly to any human that enters. So I feel that they should be okay to be able to get along with them. But of course, there can always be a trial period, from my understanding, to test and see whether or not they can get along prior to having full confirmation.
All right. So I want to bring it back to what you mentioned about sterilization earlier. Can you tell us
Yes.
why it's important for cats to be sterilized?
Okay, so essentially, if you're going to have, for instance, a female kitten, if they're not sterilized, they can actually get impregnated early as maybe 4 to 5 months, and they'll have 4 to 5 kittens. So it's a question, if it's not sterilized, one, how's the health of your cat from giving birth to all those kittens? And do you have the financial needs in order to provide for these extra kittens there? We already said that it costs approximately $100 to $150 per month to provide food and litter for one cat. Now compound this by 4 to 5 times. Will you be able to dedicate the financial portion and also dedicate the time? Because when we're talking about adopting, this is a lifetime commitment. So these cats can live between 10 to 20 years old, and you need to be ready to commit that. So one is to adopt one cat, but are you ready to commit life for about 20 years for 5 cats?
Right. Yeah, I can hear them playing with something with a bell in the background, and I
Yes.
really wish our viewers could have a look. So maybe
Yep.
if for a while we can just point the camera towards them,
Sure.
just to have a look at the cats for a little while,
All right.
so we can encourage our viewers to
So I'm going to unplug my
fall in
headphones to
love
make
with
this
them.
easier.
Oh, look at you! So over there, that is an interactive cat toy that you can use. You can put treats in that little bowl, and then the cats will have to dig their paws in to play with them. It's a good way to keep them entertained when you've got to go out for work. As Steph mentioned, Pops and Kids are quite independent, so you can leave them at home as long as you've got these interactive toys for them to play with. Can you hear me, Steph, at the same time? I think she can hear me, but we just can't hear her. Steph, you might have to plug in your headphones again for this, for a few of the questions that we've got coming up. I can't hear you again, Steph, I think. Still no. Oh dear. All right, so while Steph works that out, I'm just going to have a look at the questions that we have here. We've got a question from Valencia Lin. asking, will there be Munchkin cats for adoption? And Valencia, I'm sure you can have a look at Purely Adoption's Facebook page to have a look at the animals that they do have available for adoption. Hi, Steph, are you back? Not quite. Your audio is still out, unfortunately. All right, so she's going to try that again. And in the meantime, Ai Xia is asking if during the circuit breaker, can we arrange for a visit to see the kittens? As far as I know, at the moment, we can't arrange for visits to see any of the animals we featured until after the circuit breaker. But Ai Wei, please register your interest if you are interested in adopting these wonderful cats, Pops and Kit, using the QR code or the link that we'll be showing in the captions. It might be showing now or later on. And Purely Adoptions will follow up with you to arrange for a viewing or to take the further steps to get the adoption process ongoing. All right. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Steph to get things sorted, I want to talk to you about one of our sponsors. Pet Lover Center is our campaign sponsor, and they are donating a total of 5,000 packets of cat and dog food to our animal welfare group partners, as well as to successful adopters of any of the animals we featured in Project Adopt Live. Pet Lover Center has the widest range of the freshest stock of products, so pet owners can really pamper their pets. And Pet Lover Center also offers services like pet grooming and vet consultations. The physical stores are, of course, closed now because of the circuit breaker, but online shopping is available 24/7. And yes, they do delivery. All right, so I think here we have Pops or Kit. I
This
can't really tell the
this is
size.
Kit.
Steph is back.
All
Hi,
right.
Kit.
So that is little Kit. Pops is running around. So unfortunately, I can't get them together at the moment. But this is little Kit. So she's
All
really
right, so I have a question from a viewer, Andy, asking if for Pops and Kids, must they be adopted together as a pair? And as I spoke to Steph earlier, yes, we are adopting them out as a pair because they're bonded really closely together. And usually, when you separate cats that have been bonded so closely, they do get very, very lonely, and you can see that change in their behavior. Oh, look at the two of them playing. Oh, that's just adorable. So I can encourage you guys that if you are adopting cats, it's a good idea to get lots and lots of toys in for them, different kinds of toys, like a feather toy like this, string toys, or even for kittens, sometimes those little mouse toys will be good to throw around for them as well. Steph, I have
yes,
another question from Jolly
yes.
asking if there are any doggies for adoption later on in our program.
Yes. So there is one dog that we'll be seeing after Doctor. Oh, actually, right after Doctor Chrissy. That.
So yes, the answer for Jolly is yes, there will be a dog later on, so please stay tuned. Okay, I think we'll be moving on now since people are asking about our next animals. So Steph, can I ask you, do you have any last words to encourage our viewers to help Pops and Kit find a good forever home?
Yeah, definitely. So please consider, essentially, they are absolutely perfect for first-time adopters. As I mentioned, I'm relatively new to the fostering world. There's probably a lot of questions, how is it with litter training, etc. So we picked everything up very quickly. When it comes to training them to not scratch anything, just a firm no once or twice, and they learned right away. So they're very smart cats. They're incredibly loving. But also, if you're working from home, they actually know when I'm in a meeting and will leave me alone. And right when I'm done, then they'll come for cuddles. So they're fantastic for first time adopters. And obviously, in conjunction with that, then anyone who would like a cat will be perfect for them.
That's amazing. They're so considerate. When I'm working from home, my cats are always just trying to get on the laptop and, and get in my face, working around. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Steph, for joining us. And
Thank you
thank
very
you for
much for
taking
having
care
us.
of Pops and Kit. Yeah,
Yes,
I
of
know
course.
how important fosterers are for socializing kittens, especially, and getting them comfortable being around humans. So I think you've done a really good job there.
Great. Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. All
Okay,
right. So I
great.
hope we'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. All right, so viewers, if you are interested once again in adopting Pops or Kit, oh sorry, Pops and Kit, because we are adopting them together, please register your interest in the QR code on the screen or follow the link in the caption below so that Purely Adoptions can follow up with you after the show. Okay, let's talk about our next sponsor. We've got really generous sponsors contributing lots and lots of things to Project Adopt Life to help us raise funds for our animal welfare group partners as well. So, our next sponsor is the Pets Couture. The Pets Couture will be donating 20% of the sales proceeds from 9 of their featured products to Project Adopt Life and Purely Adoptions. For more details and to check out their fashionable pet collar designs, please check out the Pet Couture's Facebook page. Okay, I think it's time for us to bring on our next guest, Dr. Pretty, and with her is tiny little puppy, Love. Hello, Dr. Pretty. Thank you for
Hey,
joining
hey,
us today.
hey, hi.
And we
And this
have
is,
their Love.
yes.
Can you tell us a bit about Love?
Okay, so the Love is 7 weeks old and she's mongrel. And since 1.5 week, we are fostering her. And when she came to us, she was a very small, tiny puppy. But now she's grown up and she started walking around and even running. And I have a big dog at my house, so she's very playful with her. And she like they both are going around very well and because of my dog we have at home, so she we don't have to give up special attention to her because they are very busy playing with each other.
Uh, all right, we have a comment here saying that the puppy is so cute, and I really think she is as well. So you mentioned Love is a mongrel, and can you tell us a bit more about the mongrel population in Singapore?
Oh, okay. So mongrels are basically the street dogs, and they are the local breed, local dog. As compared to the breed dogs, they are very easy to manage because they are born on the streets and they are very tough. So it's there is no special care required for their fur or overall. So even I have a I have a dog which is 3.5 years old, and she is also mongrel. We also adopted her from a purely adoption. So from the day one, she is very easy to manage. She got very well in our family, and she started loving us since day one. So it's very so there is no special care required for them, especially when you give them a bath. Within 5 minutes, they are already dry, so you don't have to groom them for a like longer time as compared to breed dogs. So this is how is the advantage. And
I think
also
Love wants to get to Daisy, is it? He wants to go and play.
and also the second thing that when you take a breed dog, usually they are breeded forcefully, and it's not a very good way to have the dogs when they are not born naturally. So it's a way to have, when you have these dog within your family, they are equally bonded to your family as the breed dogs also, and not much care is required for their health or for their skin or fur. So that's what I always like to promote mongrels over the breed dogs.
Absolutely. So mongrels are also known as Singapore specials.
Yes,
And as Dr. Pretty said, they require much less upkeep usually, especially because their short cropped fur dries really easily after a bath.
yeah,
They're just as loving as
as
purebreds,
any other dog.
especially if you
Yeah,
train them well. And as you can see that Dr. Pretty also has a much older dog named Daisy,
yes.
and she's had Daisy for 2 years, and Daisy is just as loving and just as caring as any purebred dog out there. So
She
adopt,
Daisy.
don't shop if you
So
can.
Daisy is more attached to our family. She's very protective for us. So that's how these dogs are.
All right. So I would like to tell you a little more about Love. Apparently, Love is in her shark phase, as Dr.
I've
Preeti
seen the
mentioned
time.
just now, which means that Love, not Dr. Preeti, but Love is getting a little bitey right now because she's teething, isn't she?
Yes.
So, what can you advise people or potential adopters of young puppies to do if their puppies are teething and biting their hands or their toys or maybe even their furniture? How can we train that behavior out of them?
Okay, so when she came to us, she was very small puppy, so she was most of the time sleeping. But since last 1 week, she's like little grown up and she started biting on the things. But then we got a lot of toys for her, chewy toys and treats that she can actually chew for a while. And then when she's tired, she goes back to sleep again. So that's how we can prevent them from, chewing other things.
Oh, she's saying, let me play, let me play. Oh, either that or she's saying, I promise I won't bite you, please adopt me.
But of course when you're playing with them they usually bite you also, but it's a very gentle bite because their jaw strength is not that, it's very weak bite. So we can actually prevent them by by doing or by just scolding them for a while, for a second, and then they will understand after some time.
So just to be firm with them when they do bite you, even gently, and tell them, no, that's not okay, and eventually they'll learn.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So is there anything else we can do to train our puppies? I know there are dog obedience schools in Singapore. What age do you think will be good to start sending puppies for obedience training?
Okay, so I have been like adopting the dog since childhood. So it's been quite many dogs I have had in my life. But I think the I have never put any dog into training center before. So whatever the training is done at home, and it's when they start knowing your language, like after living for a while with you, they start understanding your own language, your own the way you are talking to them. So I think it's very easier for you to make them understand what to do. And usually when you don't tie them in at house or you confine them at any place, I think they are very easily trainable, as compared to when you tie them they are very aggressive and anxious. So it's very difficult to train those type of dogs. But when you give them a freedom at home, I think it's very easy to make them understand what you are saying to them.
That's wonderful. So if you put in the time with your puppies or with your dogs, you can train them much easier
Much,
than if you put them
yes,
and confine them in a corner all
yes.
day. All right. So one very important question I don't think we mentioned yet is Love HDB approved?
Sorry.
Is Love HDB approved?
Yes, I think now there is a new rule. So mongrels are also HDP approved because they are a Singapore special dog and they shouldn't be having any special requirement for adoption. So I think because of recent approval that got for the mongrels, Love is also a HDP approved dog now.
That's wonderful. How big do you think Love will get eventually?
I think the I have a Daisy, so Daisy is quite big in size, but I think
Mhm.
there are very few mongrels which goes that big. But for Love, probably she might be a mid-sized dog, not very big as Daisy.
Oh, I see. That's okay. Then someone can get a mid-sized dog, or if honestly, it's quite hard to tell, right? Because you don't know their breeding
Yes,
pedigree.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So a few more questions that I have for you. We've mostly been showcasing adult dogs so far on Project Adopt Life. Can you tell us what are the differences between adopting a puppy and an adult dog?
Okay, so when we adopted Daisy, she was already a grown up. So
Hmm.
I think for grown ups, you don't have to teach them a lot because they have already their energy is already settled, and they try to settle down themselves in the house. But when it's puppy, they want to explore everything, so their energy level is very high. They want to go in each corner of the house. So I think adopting older dog is much easier. You have to give less time to them to train as compared to the puppies. So
Mm.
that's what is my feedback for the grown-ups.
So puppies will take a little more time commitment in the beginning stages as you train them and as you get them comfortable with the home, and of course while you play with them.
Yes, of course, yeah, and that's one of the thing that you have to really consider, that don't confine them anywhere, don't tie them anywhere. They if they're free to roam around in the house, they will be very easily adopted in your family, and it's very easy to train them as compared to when you make them more aggressive by tying them somewhere.
All right, we understand that each animal welfare group has its own adoption procedures, and we've heard about the adoption procedures from purely adoptions for cats. But what are the adoption procedures for dogs?
Okay, so I've been working with purely adoption since I think quite many years now, and I have fostered a lot of dogs for them. And when we adopted Daisy, actually we were fostering her before, and when she came to house, we just thought maybe we'll adopt her because she got so well in our house and she started loving us like from the day one. So I think the very good thing about purely adoption, that they always encourage you to foster the dog or cat first before you actually take a decision to have that dog in your house. So it really takes 2 to 3 weeks also sometimes for you to figure out whether you really want to adopt this dog or not, whether that dog fits into your family, and like if you have kids, if you have other pets. So I think this is a very good way of encouraging adoption by allowing to foster them first. So that's what I really liked about purely adoption. Also, their paperwork is very easy. It's just within an hour we got Daisy adopted with just few paperwork, and it came with a lot of goodie bags and a lot of what lot of training, that what are your like a vaccination schedule and all. So they're always there for you to let you know if you have missed the vaccination, or if there is any need is required even after adoption. So they're always there.
Wonderful. So there you have it from someone who's gone through the adoption process herself. Adoption procedure is not too difficult. You need a home trial and, of course, to fill up the paperwork to
Yes,
make sure
yes,
that the animal is comfortable with your family.
yes.
All right, we have some questions from our audience as well. Someone is asking how much they have to set aside to adopt a dog. What are the monthly costs involved?
Okay, so it really depends on the dog that you're like adopting. If it's a breed dog, maybe the cost is little higher because their fur is very sensitive for the food or the shampoo that you're using. You really have to use a very high end shampoo or the food for them. But for the mongrels, it's for us it's around 100 to $120 monthly, or maybe up to $150 including food. So that's what is the monthly expense for the dogs.
All right, so it's grooming costs, it's food costs, and also if they've got any special needs. So Pretty is estimating that it's around 100 to maybe 150 or even $200 per month.
Yes, correct,
All
correct.
right. Someone is asking if we have to trim their claws from time to time. I know you mentioned that mongrels don't need as much grooming, but do they still have to clip their claws?
Yeah, so we do clip her claws once in a 6 months, so it doesn't grow really very faster. And yeah, so once in a 6 months is the only like we trim her claws, and of course cleaning of the ears is always like during the bathing time. You always can clean their ears. Don't have to specially send to the grooming center. But if you are comfortable trimming their nails at home, you can do that at home also.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to let you guys know, give you a heads up. For our next live session, we're actually having some basic grooming tips from a groomer that you can do at home. So please come back next week to have a look at what those basic tips are. Okay, another question from our viewer Terrence is, do you have any idea whether love is okay with other small animals such as rabbits?
I think it's very early to say whether she's okay or not. But I have a dog, so I know she's very playful with my other dog, and she's not hurting my other dog. She's actually playing very playfully with them. So both of them are playing and enjoying it. So if you are going to introduce the other pet very soon to them, so I think there shouldn't be a problem that you know for having another pet, another breed with love.
And I know that Love is also comfortable with small children, maybe not small animals, we don't know that yet, but small children.
So
Pretty
so
has a 4-year-old daughter, and Love has been playing really nicely with her.
Yeah. So when I adopted Daisy, my daughter was just like almost 2 years old. So still very small. So when Daisy came to us, she was a big dog. So we really got a little bit of uncomfortable whether they will be playing together or not. But from the first day, Daisy was very gentle to my daughter. My daughter was too young for a big dog. But since I have got Love at house, and my daughter started saying from the day one that I love you. So that's why we gave her a name Love, because
Oh,
the
that's so
moment
sweet.
her she started saying I love you. So they both play very well, and my daughter is not scared of the like Love, and Love is also not really hurting like my daughter, because as I told you that her bite is very soft, it's not that hard. So they are playing very well.
It sounds like it's going to be really difficult for your daughter to give up Love, and I think it would be too because Love is so precious. Can we have a chance to see Love again and Daisy if it's possible? All right, so Jolly, you've asked Jolly Win, how big will Love get? And as spoke with Dr. Preeti earlier, will probably get to about a medium-sized dog, maybe not as big as Daisy. Preeti, could we even see Daisy just to see how big a Singapore Special
Just
can get?
okay, just give me a second. I'll bring her.
Sure. Okay. All right. So, Love, as Dr. Pretty mentioned, Love sleeps most of the time as she was growing up, but when she's awake, she does love playing with other dogs. So I think Love would make a great addition to any family that already has dogs. Come on, Daisy.
She's
Ah, look at her. She's so sweet.
she's quite big. So anyone
Yeah.
sees her like little scared of her size, but she's not harmful at all. She's very gentle dog,
Would you
and she's
say
very
Daisy
gentle.
is on the? Would you say Daisy is on the big end of how Singapore specials can get?
Yes, yes. I think she is quite big as compared to other Singapore special dog. But I think I'm not sure whether Love will also grow up like that size, but maybe a medium size.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Daisy, for bringing us Love and for being so loving with little Love. She's just the most precious little pepper. All right. Before you go, do you have any last words to encourage our viewers to adopt Love?
Oh, okay, but I would encourage anyone to adopt a mongrel. So even if it is Love or any other dog, always encourage to adopt mongrel dog, because they're very easy to manage, and you don't have to specially breed anyone just to have a dog in your house. So there are so many dogs in shelters, and they really need a home. Once they're at your home, they really become a part of your life. So I think that's what I would like to say for a Love also.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Pretty, and thank you so much. Oh, that big yawn. Thank you. Thank you so much for showing us Love. I'll see you guys later, and I really hope Love finds a home soon. Bye. Bye,
Okay,
Love.
bye.
Oh, that was so sweet. I'm really in love with Love, and if none of you get her, I might snap her up for myself. All right, so once again, if you are interested in adopting any of the animals we showcased today, do register your interest in the QR code or link in the caption so that Purely Adoptions can follow up with you. Now, as I mentioned, this is Project Adopt Live's third installment of the Home Chat series and our fourth episode. We've been really fortunate to be able to come together to help these beautiful animals. And to celebrate, we've prepared a little look back at our very first episode with hosts Wayne and Sylvia at Causes for Animals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our program, Project Adopt Live, Love in the Time of Corona. Do you have what it takes to be the heroes for Artus, Dash, Elvis, Primrose, and Wiseman? Our canine superstars from Causes for Animals Singapore. Look deep into their soulful eyes. Maybe the answer is I do.
continue to watch our home chat series and spread the word to your friends and family. And we're also extremely grateful to our sponsors for their ongoing support. Another of our sponsors is Doggy Potion. Doggy Potion will be sponsoring a set of all natural shampoo and antibacterial waterless cleansing foam absolutely free for the first 5 pets adopted through Project Adopt Live. They will also be giving a 5% discount for our viewers using the code shown below and are even donating another 5% of the proceeds from any sales using this code to Project Adopt Live. So head on over to their website to use the code and to show us some support. We'll have more information on on our sponsors and their generous contributions in a bit. But in the meantime, let's meet our final guests for today, Fosterer Faz and Cat Gigi. Hello, Faz. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, hi.
Hi, and hello, Gigi. Oh, she's so small. Gigi is about 1.5 years old to 2 years old. We can't be sure because she was adopted. She was found on the streets just recently. Can you tell us a bit about her history, Faz?
Okay, so basically Gigi was found with a litter of kittens. So she actually had about, I think, around 4 kittens that were all successfully adopted out already. She was found in the industrial area. So I suspect that she might have been found in a loud machining area. So as and when she hears loud sound, she will go into hiding. So it's actually her character. She's a bit shy. So she likes to be on her own most of the time.
So Gigi's a little bit more shy, but after
Yeah.
getting used to her home and her surroundings, I'm sure she becomes more comfortable around her new family members.
Correct. So actually, in my own house, I have about 5 resident cats. So she gets
Oh,
along very
wow.
well with the other cats. So she doesn't really have much of an issue, interacting or socializing with the rest. I would say that she's a bit shy in the sense that it takes time for someone when you adopt her. She won't be like, oh, come, I will come and sit next to your lap. What she does is that she tends to go into a bit of a hiding, so get a bit about adjustment and all that, and slowly she will warm up to you lah. Mm. Because when we initially rescued her, she was under my spare bed for almost I think 3 weeks. She didn't want to come out, so I
Oh
had to
no.
feed food under the bed just to give to her.
Oh
And then
no.
slowly, if the first time, if you saw me carry her like that, it's actually not the first time that I managed to carry her. I think about 2 months later that I was able to carry her confidently because she was very scared. Okay.
So can you give us some tips on how we would get her more comfortable with being around a new family member?
Okay, there are some tricks that usually I will do for the rescues that I foster at home. First thing is that I will get a box and then I will actually put a bit of a towel or if an old shirt to wrap around and then let them hide inside and then let them get used to your scent, your smell, and it'll be good if you have a spare room that you place her inside first, so that she get adjusted to a smaller area first, and then later on, when she gets a bit more in tune with your schedule and all that, you can actually see her coming out, greeting you, eating your food from your hand and all that. But it does take a bit of time with her because she's quite a shy cat and yeah, quite laid back and chill. So if somebody is looking for a very chilled cat, I think Gigi is a good fit. Come here, girl.
All right, so Gigi is a chill cat. She just needs a little more time to get used to the new people in her
Yeah,
life. So
correct.
as Fast mentioned, all you have to do is get a little box and maybe a room that you can section off that is just Gigi's to begin with, so that Gigi can get comfortable in a place that she can call her own. And then as time goes on, most cats are really food motivated. So if you keep feeding them and letting them associate you with good food and good love, slowly and but surely they'll get used to you. So I've got a question here from Tan Tien
Mm-hmm.
Yu. Is she suitable for a
Okay.
first-time pet owner?
Yes, it's actually very mild because I think in terms of her character, she's very shy. Gigi, you got to not show your butt. So she's actually very mild and very relaxed. If she's the only cat, also it's actually okay with her because when she's quite independent lah. So like as and when I play with other cats and all that, she will come and join. But when I go out and all that, she doesn't really meow that much and all that. So she's pretty chilled as a single cat as well. Mm-hmm.
All right. I think Gigi might be even a little camera shy. Do you think it's possible for us to point the camera down so we can see a little more of Gigi?
Okay, hold on, Oh,
Gigi,
Jessie came up to the camera.
Gigi. Oh, look at her in that wonderful little bandana.
And she's going for her. Let me just carry it around a bit so it's easier.
Oh,
She's not
she's such
promoting
a
any brand bites, yeah, but she loves this treat.
All right. So as I mentioned, most cats are food motivated, and it looks like Gigi is as well. So food is the
She's
way
very
into the cat's
motivated.
heart. All right. So another question that we have here: will Gigi be okay with being the only cat?
Yeah, she's okay. She's being fine with being the only cat because I think it's her character to be shy. But
Mm-hmm.
if let's say you having, because it depends on your preference. Some people they will actually prefer to have like additional cats and all that. So far, I noticed that she gets along well with other cats as well. So even if a single household also can, multi-cat household also can because she's quite well adjusted lah.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right. So a few more questions that I need to ask. Will
Sure, no
Gigi
problem.
scratch furniture? Do you think? Is she a furniture
Uh,
scratcher?
Okay. To be honest, cats are actually natural scratchers. They will definitely scratch something. So what is the trick that I managed to do for myself is that I actually place a toy scratcher next to my furniture so that in a way
Mm-hmm.
it will protect both our furniture and her. But because they are, what you can actually do is buy those scratch poles, or if you want to DIY, you can buy those sisa rope and tie it around a pole so that they can actually scratch easily, or scratch board as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can see her.
Hello, Gigi. Oh, she's camera shy.
Come here. Come here.
She just wants to show us her bum. All right, so as Faz mentioned, one great way to train cats not to scratch furniture is to provide them with other things to scratch that are more interesting to scratch than your furniture. Okay, so
Mhm.
um, all right, so yes, we have answered the question that Gigi would make a good pet for a first-time pet owner. All you need is a little more patience because unlike most dogs or even more friendly cats, a lot of cats do take some time to get used to new surroundings. So you
Come
just
here.
need a little patience to get them out of their shell and get them more comfortable with you. And once Gigi is comfortable with you, she will seek you out to play and pet her and feed her. So Faz, do you have any
Yes, yes.
last words before we go off to encourage people to adopt Gigi into their life?
Okay, so all those either first time adopter, or you actually have existing cat and all that. She's actually suitable for both. I have to say that when we first rescued her compared to now that we have, I'm very happy that she's able to even come out and let me pet her and all that. She's actually not really a lap cat in the sense that she will come and sit on your lap, literally. But what happens is that she will, accompany you and all that. So if you're looking for those company, especially now we're all on lockdown and all that, she does have a good character of, just playing and sitting next to you and keep you comfortable.
Faz, you mentioned that now during the lockdown, this would be a perfect time. But because of the lockdown and circuit breaker, would it be possible for people to actually manage to adopt her over until before the circuit breaker ends?
Okay, so what's happening is that definitely we follow our usual guidelines of having the window smash, the cat proof your house, and it is also possible for you to adopt a cat during this circuit breaker. Of course, there's a few guidelines under CWIS guidelines that you have to follow, such as making sure that there's no physical contact. We can't come down to your house. So what we do is that we will screen through the video chat. We will show like, can you show us some of your areas that you think the cat would likely to be hovering around, where your family hang around, so that we can make sure that the house is cat proof. And also, just to make sure that, you have enough option, because now even the pet supply shops are still closed. So we also do not want you to make a rush decision just because I know how adorable she is doing it now. So you have to make sure that you have enough supplies, make sure that everything is ready before you make that, judgment to really adopt her. So these are our
Right.
basic guidelines that we have because of the situation we are in now.
So it sounds like Purely Adoptions has moved a lot of its adoption screening process online to make things available for you guys to get these animals sooner rather than later. And I know Faz
Yeah.
mentioned that a lot of pet supply stores are closed right now, but don't worry, our campaign sponsor Pet Lover Center is still open online 24/7 and they do delivery, so you can still get your pet supplies there as well. And one last question, is Gigi
Yes, go
okay
ahead.
with young children?
Um, okay. For Gigi, I think she's okay with young kids. I mean, like, but definitely in terms of her energy level, it's pretty relaxed. You can see here. Once I stroke her, she's already on a full mode of, okay, I'm going to nap soon. But with young kids, she should be okay. Especially for an adult cat, they are pretty much relaxed and all that. So definitely we have also have a trial, so we can actually see whether is there any issues and all that. You will see that definitely be able to guide the potential doctor and the children as well. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. And okay, sorry, I know that I said one last question, but we do have another one.
Yeah,
What
it's
kind of
okay,
litter
no
should we
problem.
use for what kind of litter should we use for Gigi? I know many cats have their own preferences.
Uh-huh. Okay, from my experience, when she first came on board, because she had kittens, so what I did was I actually got tofu litter. So I can just show you here. It's a bit not very friendly, but I can show you here. So this is actually a tofu litter. So a tofu litter is a bit easier for you to climb, and you don't really have a second tray. So she's actually started off with this because of her kittens, since their paws are pretty soft. And then because I have other cats and I have always been using pine. So so that's why I have both side by side in case suddenly she remembers her days in her tofu days, so she will use. But she also is using the pine with no issues as well. So it really depends on what is the owner's preference. Either you're okay with tofu or you want pine, also it's fine. If you have multiple cats, I would recommend strongly getting pine instead because pine it tends to clear up a bit slightly better. But if you have tofu, it's easier to clean because they clump together very well. So it really depends.
Right.
She goes very well with both. Yeah.
Excellent. So it's really dependent on your what cats that you get, and if you get Gigi, she seems to be doing well with tofu or pine. Okay,
Yes,
thank you
correct.
so much, Faz. We're gonna move
Yeah, no
on now. Thank
problem.
you so much for introducing us to Gigi. All right, so goodbye
And
and goodbye, Gigi.
hey, you take care.
Okay,
Have a fun Sunday. Bye.
bye. All right, once again, if you are interested in adopting any of the animals that we featured here today, do register your interest in the QR code or link in the caption so that Purely Adoptions can follow up with you. All right. As promised, I'm going to share with you a little more about our generous sponsors. The first is Fan Art Therapy, who will donate 50% of her sales proceeds from purchases of her handcrafted paw print art pieces. These are gorgeous framed string art pieces which can be custom made in the color of your choice. These can take up to 3 days to make because they're so intricate. So please check out Fan Art Therapy's Instagram page for more details on those. Next is BB Crafty Cat, who will sponsor a customized crochet collar for all cats adopted through Project Adopt Life. This means that if you adopt Pops and Kit or Gigi, you'll be able to adorn them with these pretty crocheted collars. BB Crafty Cat is also donating part of their sales proceeds to the Love Kuching Project. So head on over to their Facebook or Instagram page to show them some support. Finally, many thanks to Magic Dow Photography. For just $25, Magic Dow Photography can create a watercolor print from any of your pet's photographs. And they are pledging $15 from each sale to Project Adopt Live. One lucky donor will even get a free pet photo shoot worth $300. So head on down to their Instagram page to check their workout and for your chance to win some free beauty shots of your fur kid. But if you don't win the pet photo shoot, not to worry. You can still get a personalized portrait of your cat or dog or rabbit or pet from the Hope for Animals artist team. For just $45, you can get a beautiful painting of your pet on a bark ornament for you to hang in your home and know that $24.50 out of your donation of each purchase will go to animal welfare groups to help them through this difficult time. You can buy these ornaments through the QR code on the screen or by following the link in the caption. The team at Hope for Animals has really been an integral part in getting this initiative off the ground. So I'd like to invite the person who got this all started, Melody, to share a quick message with us. Over to you, Melody.
Hi, hi, Jolene.
Hi.
So thanks for everyone for catching us today. We have been trying to do these sessions as frequent as we can and every Sunday at 12:30. So we've been doing adoption for the last 4 episodes. And next Sunday we are having something special. I think Jolene have earlier on mentioned that we will be interviewing a groomer to share some home tips about home grooming with you all. Reason being is that because home grooming became not an essential and therefore not open, so we do need to still groom our pets at home, and that's why we'll be doing a short interview with a groomer. We'll also be having a special guest. His name is Daniel Bowie. He is Singapore's fashion godfather. So he adopted a dog and he would like to share his story about adoption as well as the challenges he faced, the benefits, the rewards of having a pet. Yeah, so we are really glad to have everyone in, and we are so happy that you guys are together with us today as we have been trying to adapt with every situation that is being thrown at us at every stage. So thank you guys for joining us. We will be really glad to see you guys next Sunday.
All right. Thank you so much, Melody, for starting this initiative and bringing this team together. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our episode. Big thanks once again to Purely Adoptions, the fosterers Steph, Dr. Priti, and Faz, our generous sponsors, and of course to you viewers for watching. We'll see you next Sunday, same time, same Facebook page, for our next live session, where we'll be interviewing, as Melody mentioned, Mr. Daniel Boy, who is the godfather of Singapore fashion and an avid dog lover, and he will share more with us why we should adopt instead of shop. And we'll also be speaking to Kenny from Whiskies to get basic tips on how to groom our pets since we can't go out and get that done during the circuit breaker. So that will be really useful, especially for the ones who need to know how to trim their dog's claws. In the meantime, be safe, keep well, and we hope you'll always make room in your hearts for another furry friend. See you soon. Bye.